Taipei market mouth. There is no winner today. But you were wrong. There's a winner and he's not in Taipei. It's in Beijing, a silent coup plot without a shot. But it's capable of severing the institutional artery of both when for orders from the South China Sea. And that's when the acquisition engine started. Congress is manipulated, army tied hands, the Constitution is broken, and democracy is in a coma. They're all just waiting for a legal declaration to legalize an unprecedented military buildup. On today's show, we will uncover Beijing's overall power grab strategy, crystal VI plug, for more than 10 years, decoding for South the crisis. This is not just about Taiwan, it's a wake-up call for the free world. We invite you to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, 26/7 Taiwan rocked. It's the largest recall in history. The island's democracy is officially over. In the tense air, 24 artists from the Green Party, people at risk of losing their seats. In the end, they hold their position with the initiating side. This is a headshot. It's 7 total defeats, both tactical and political, at the Green Party headquarters. It's like a victory night. Flags flutter and songs filled the space. Supporters hugged each other in joy. But in the sea of people, the lens stops at a heavy face. Taipei market. You thought it was safe. 4th-generation descendant of the Xuanji family. No laughing, no applauding. He just quietly said a short sentence. There is no winner today. A word that seems so humble. But it's actually a signal. It's a scary warning. Maybe you thought it yourself. I can't believe I just got out. The most worrying truth, the submarine wave doesn't originate from within Taiwan. Because this is not a mere confrontation between the two political blocs. Green and 6. Everything's just a cover for a proxy war. A battlefield without gunfire but full of calculation. And the guy who actually pulled the rope wasn't in Taipei or Kaohsiung. It's in Beijing. In the South China Sea, where power is concentrated. Supreme leader of the Chinese Communist Party, MPS, have retained their seats in Taiwan. It's not just local politicians. They're the first wave in a cold scenario. Take over the island legally. Slowly but surely, when the first repeal campaign was defeated, Taiwan didn't just lose a battle, but also let go of a vital line of defense. 7 defeats this time is like opening the gate. Let the train called overturn. Straight to the heart of democracy, breaking the fragile balance, which has existed for many years.
The next focus is on August 23rd.
The time of the battle of life and death. 7 key members of the Green Party, including former party chairman John Kazin, they will face the final judgment. If the results continue to lean towards 7 defeat, Beijing no longer needs to keep its deauthorization system. The links will fit together, and the takeover plan will be fully activated. Then the strategic order. The coldest stack will start counting down. 2028 no longer need to vote. 2028 is not just a timeline. It's the limit of survival. The boundary exists. Death of the highest power class in Zhongnan. And if there is not a strong enough reaction, Taiwan may be removed from the map. Democratic politics of the region. In the past, every analysis of Beijing's strategy for Taiwan, it's based on bits and pieces. Disjointed, incomplete pieces. It's all speculation. What stage is being implemented? Who holds the flag and where the orders come from? The world is only really clear when the ice rose. People who used to hold senior positions in the Chinese countervailing system, revealing top-secret intelligence sources from inside Beijing. The veil of secrecy was torn apart, that the power black box is unraveling, and for the first time, the whole picture is really happening. A silent coup is being orchestrated. The ultimate goal is Taiwan. The script is no longer vague, the show is no longer visible. At the top of that pyramid of power, the name appears to be none other than the squared set, General Secretary of the President of China. He is also the Supreme Commander of the China Working Group on the Taiwan issue. Next to you, to familiar names in the modern power machine, King Tiger name. He is known as the 3 dimensions of Communist Party of China. His role was to transform his ideas. General Secretary of the United Front. It can be applied in practice, domestic politics and propaganda. King of the character nicknames evolve. Number 1 in the world. Main task, put the whole coup scenario. This is a foreign product, an ingenious propaganda campaign, to hide the intervening hand. The A name BA links a unified strategy. And behind that is the political storm. Could blow up Taiwan's democracy, if not stopped in time. 11/2024 at a closed-door meeting in Zhongnan. Wang Tiger Nan, strategy the most powerful in Chinese politics. He issued 4 orders. It's defined as a direct action directive. It's no longer a recommendation or a pasting strategy. Strong first command. King Tiger Nin criticized Kaven philosophy. He had been indicted by the Taiwanese judiciary. Beijing sees this as a heavy 7 for the system. Soft combat system. Literature is the shield of preventive democracy. Cards are prepared in advance. Use it if you need a neutral face. Fake antagonism to transfer power in the context of political change. Strong second-order reenact riots. School with a scale far exceeding that the 28th of May 2025. Beijing is directing special agent units to provoke more conflict, to exert a deeper influence on and public hit the faith straight. Institutions of the people of Taiwan. Strong third command. The election 2028. According to King Tiger Nin, I don't care about the Taiwan election anymore. The goal is to undo the democratic process. At that time, sovereignty was wiped out. The vote becomes meaningless. No need to fire a shot. The fourth order. Draw your sword without waiting. High Center issued ultimatum for the entire network of agents on the island. From politicians and religious media scholars to coal, everyone must act immediately. Sworn allegiance to accept via touch. Dare to raid, dare to divide society. Prove yourself as a warrior, reliable native of the regime. For orders were issued from the South China Sea. It's not just political leadership. They're like for red surgical blades. Cold and accurate. Directly into the for vital organs of Taiwan's institutions. The National Assembly, the judicial system, the electoral system, and public opinion. This is no longer the concept of peaceful unity. It's an internal power transfer plan. It's designed using sophisticated political engineering, but step-by-step paralyzes the entire reaction. Some people think that this is just a revelation from the ice rose, but another shock is coming. He is also known as Victor Gao, who used to be the Communist Party's propaganda. China has also made an identical statement. It's no longer to opposing opinions. A person from outside the system, a person from within the institution, point to a single scenario. Victor Gao, Deng Xiaoping's trusted translator, who played an important role in the design of Taiwan unification strategy. He knows the whole structure, Beijing's foreign policy. He declared, the cost of using force to unite is too great. Unified peace is too cumbersome. The best way is for Taiwan to rebel against when itself. The time is right. Congress to actively invite political forces, military from the sixth generation to support order stability. There's no doubt about it. This is the culmination of the strategy of domination. Overthrow from within. No landing, no gunfire. A transfer of the main name of the agreement. But it's actually the end of democracy on this country. Is a legitimate coup scenario. A gun-free overthrow involves only 3 steps, but they're all headed straight for the death throes of Taiwan's democracy. Step 1. Creating controlled chaos. There is no need for a military coup. We just need to push society to a state of tension. Diplomatic mechanism. To push through a series of controversial bills. Navigation media. Activate social networks. And use pro-Beijing forces to manipulate the political space. There will be hundreds of thousands of green people against Faction 6 gathered before Congress. Screaming, even bleeding. The danger lies not in the violence, but in the consequences. The whole of society has lost trust in suspicious news. The police are not trusted. People are suspicious of each other. When people get into a state that, whether you want democracy or stability, they want integrity or order. Beijing has completed half of the script. Step 2. Disable the national immune system. Taiwan military, according to the Constitution, the right to resist foreign aggression. If the president orders the use of military force, was immediately labeled a dictator. The international media will make headlines. The Taiwanese government cracked down on the protests. The army fell into the trap. Obeying orders is a crime. If you do not obey, you become a traitor. The result is standing still without action. The police are no better. Thin force, large pressure, and any action is turned into a sacrifice. Politics, just a media hit. Law enforcement is locked down completely. Step B. Legalize the takeover. Control of Congress convened an emergency session. In the solemn air, a pre-read statement. Because of the situation, Taiwan has lost full control. To prevent a humanitarian catastrophe, this is in accordance with the XYZ Act. Invite the Kia to send a force to maintain security, to assist in restoring order. Not to mention the Liberation Army. Do not use the word invasion, do not say Taiwan 7, but only with this one invitation. The Chinese military can name the landing agreement itself, and Beijing will declare before the world. This is not an invasion. This is a legitimate call from Taiwan's elected authorities. Democracy is ended by the democratic process itself. The whole takeover plan. Taiwan does not use force. There is no bloodshed, but every single word in it is deadly. Underground. The weapons used were not tanks or missiles. It's a popular parliament. The bills are calculated, and the language is programmed. As a political party, the goal is not to destroy Taiwan's democracy directly. It's using democracy itself to squeeze, choking it from the inside. A silent strangulation by the hands of the French system itself. The most dangerous part. The first phase of the plan has been activated. Of political events happens continuously in recent months. It's not just the news. They're warm-ups, deliberate practice for a scenario that has been mapped out. And now the link in the plan to internalize control power. Taiwan is slowly being implemented through a series of bills successively passed in the Legislative House. An opening trick. Weaponization of the legislature under the guise of parliamentary reform. Formally, this is a technical reform to increase monitoring and parliamentary performance. But it's actually turning the legislature into a weapon of attack. Executive power, an agency that should have been neutral. It's now a fortress to attack the government. 1. The bill to the opposition in power in parliament. The power can stifle the whole state apparatus. A prosecution of any agency on charges of fraud, disrespect of Congress, just answer the wrong question, or have an unsatisfactory attitude. 2. Unlimited investigative rights on VI. Time manned object from the Minister of Defense, Provincial Director to 4x3 entrepreneurs. Right to the press. President is testifying directly to Congress. An act that crosses a red line of the principle of decentralization. Trampled on the law enforcement. This is no longer healthy surveillance. This is a process of institutional humiliation to shut down the executive capacity and turn the government into a soulless zombie. Democracy is being used as a coup tool to examine every distorted constitutional process, and so democracy is pushed to the limits of its existence. After the legislation to be turned into a coup d'état tool. The next attack in the script, legitimate takeover, is to undermine defense from the root. Legislative Institute. In the context of the growing threat from China, they suddenly cut the military budget, especially in critical items such as air defense radar, missiles and defense structures. Not saving, it's a cut-off. Aimed directly at Huey's nervous response of the military. In internal troops fight fair insecurity wide. Senior officers are increasingly concerned. The military is politically bound, no longer able to make strategic decisions. Unclear boundaries of action. This is the ideal scenario for Beijing. When the decisive moment comes, Taiwan's self-defense forces will not dare to act, not wanting to act, or don't know if they're allowed to act. Parallel to that is a stab into the Surveillance Institute, the only agency capable of curbing the abuse of power. Of the Legislative Institute. Instead of counterbalancing power, this institution has been crippled by political manipulation, delaying appointment of personnel, pressurizing public opinion setting-oriented media. As a result, no AI is monitoring the supervisor. The Senate now has the power to investigate, just not investigate it, into a borderless institutional gray zone. The final blow comes from the National Financial District. The legislature no longer plays the role of budget censor that turned itself into a decision maker. Opposition and MPs make a proposal. Give cash to the people. Sounds like a policy for the people, but what's behind it is destruction. Budget discipline. Law enforcement no longer has financial control. The entire system of national spending turned into a customized cash machine where people pay today. Tomorrow we can use the budget to welcome the enemy. When defense is disabled, the president is tied. His hands are gagged. The main arm is removed. Taiwan. It's no longer a functioning state. It's an empty body waiting to be taken over. Up to this point, many people feel cold on their backs. Taiwan manipulation script does not. The gunshot is in front of you, too delicate vi to formal, and executed by skilled hands. Is there a way out for Taiwan? It is not, because it is the nature that creates death. The biggest part of the whole plan. It only exists in the dark. Every step is based on an absolute condition. People who are not known are not understood, and still get caught up in political arguments. There's no sense of petty conflict between the factions. Once the plan is revealed, the whole power of manipulation will collapse according to every lies, because no conspiracy can survive under the light. Disclosing a conspiracy is not just a political act. It's the first step in a strategic counterattack. When every detail is laid out in public, the ambiguity is removed, and replace it with intelligent choice, conscious and without illusions. A conspiracy in the dark that can manipulate people's hearts, but a conspiracy in the light. It's just a model to be broken. It's gone from ghosts to diagrams. And from there, it's not just that, it's inevitable. In this context, 7 defeats in a recent recall need to be recognized not as a blame, but as a copy, a guide to the weaknesses of democracy. Before illegal tricks, the legalization. The reason is not only the power of the enemy, it's the internal hesitation. While one side sees it as a battle for survival, the other side is still confused. They are reserved and bound by excessive ethical standards. According to journalist Data IQ, the People's Progressive Party didn't see the recall as a fatal blow, not showing a definitive and attitude, thus lose the battlefield advantage. Even in areas that used to be political strongholds, competitors are not bound by the norm. They're acting like they're in full-scale war, while the other side is behaving. It's like playing by parliamentary rules. Many people believe that neutrality is a safe option, but when the institution itself is under attack, silence is no longer neutral. It's the catalyst for the collapse. To confront a system that has no moral boundaries, keeping the one-sided rule will always be a disadvantage. So clear alertness and action at the right time. It's the decisive factor in every counterattack. No gunfire. The veil of history is not yet closed. August 23rd is the final day before a whole democracy to a state of irreversibility. A unique opportunity to switch off the circuit is being run from the inside out. The system is no longer an electoral act. It's no longer a policy comparison. It's no longer an argument between interest groups. A vote now is a statement from the people, sent to the manipulator. It's all been exposed, an agent who's standing in the dark. And the will of the people is no longer silent. Because if 7 fails again, the results are no longer statistics. It's a country that's dismantled every single mechanism, each institution, each constitutional principle. Things have crossed conventional political boundaries. It is no longer the opposing party. It is no longer a power race. This is the last defense of a state. When the military is disabled, the surveillance institute is paralyzed. Finances are manipulated, and law enforcement is humiliated. You can't lose, you can't slow down, can't be wrong again. Come here. Our program is also pause. Let's leave our views and discuss directly with us. Hello and see you later.